Keyshawn Colmon, Fresno State, GA. I'm originally from Youngstown, Ohio, if anybody knows where that is. I went to Boardman High School. From there, I went to John Carroll University, was a receiver there. And then from there, right out of college, was a GA at Dayton, in Dayton, Ohio. Was an offensive GA, worked with the tight ends. And then last February, got the call from Pat McCann to come here to Fresno State, man. Been great. Been learning from a lot of good minds, good offensive minds, good defensive minds too. Just learning a ton. So hope you guys get some from this. I want to thank Pat for the opportunity for this too, Pat Crane as well. Okay. So now getting right into it. Okay. So when we talk about explode, catch, rack, all right, explode, catch, rack. This is the kind of philosophy we have for our receivers, right? This is the slide that's going to be there, all right, every meeting, right? It's going to be the slide every meeting. All right, so when we talk about explode, all right, the explode piece, talking about being a threat. All right, we want our guys to be a threat off the ball, all right, in the pass game and in the run game, right? For example, right, when I'm talking about being a threat off the ball, right, we talk about respect for. All right, a lot of coaches will be like, hey, you need to come off the ball, so go, right? We put a phrase to it. All right, we talk about respect for. All right, we want our guys to be a threat off the ball, all right, immediately. And then when we talk about being a threat in general, right, there's a difference between talent, like having talent, and being talented, right? It's that ED, right? That talented, right? Having that extra dimension, right? That extra dimension that separates you from the guys that have talent, right? Separates you from the guys that have talent. So we want guys to be a threat, right? We don't want guys just doing things right. All right, we talk about catch. All right, that's our number one job description. We got to do this at a high rate, right? At a high clip, right? We're asked to block, we're asked to do things in the run game, different things, right? Catch is our number one job description. We got to do that at a high rate, especially in this offense, right? And when we talk about rack, all right, run after catch, we got to come to life. All right, this is a big deal in our offense. All right, big deal with Pat in this receiver room, right? He does one of the best jobs I've seen with it, right? We train the ball carrier, right? And you'll see that in this cut up, right? We train the ball carrier, we train playmakers, right? You got to come to life. All right, we got to come to life, right? Got to make that first guy miss, turn 5 to 15, 15 to 30. All right, got to make big plays in our room. All right, so going right into route breaks. All right, going into route breaks. So the fundamentals of route running that we talk about, right? We talk about having a vertical push. All right, a vertical push. All right, so when I talk about that vertical push, right, respecting forward, right, that goes into it, right? That vertical push coming off the ball, right? Getting off the ball, having a good vertical push, all right, threatening the defender, all right, and then having violent hips. All right, the violent hips. When we sink our violent hips, right, we establish that shin angle so we can have an efficient transition, right? Leads into that transition, right? We want to have an efficient transition, trying to eliminate steps, eliminate wasted movement, right? So the three fundamentals of route running: vertical push, right? Violent hips, and a good transition. All right. We drill what we do and what we run, right? A big thing we talk about is deliberate practice throughout our whole facility, throughout our whole program, right? Deliberate practice, right? I'm not going to just do a bunch of check the box receiver drills. All right. We're not just going to do that. We're going to have deliberate practice. We're going to do what we're going to do that week. Maybe that install if it's fall camp. All right. If we got pin and pull that week, we're going to work pin pull. If we ain't got pin and pull that week, we ain't working pin and pull, right? We're not just checking the box with our drills, right? It's deliberate practice. And then the last thing I want to hit is being clear, concise, and repetitive. All right, clear, concise, and repetitive. All right, we give the players a chance to be good at what is being drilled, right? You got to be clear, concise, and repetitive, right? We can't just change the techniques up often, right? Change what message we're giving these guys. We got to give the players a chance to be good at what is being drilled. All right, we talk about intentional drills, right? Guys can come from Indy. All right, every time they come from our Indy, they can tell exactly what they got better at or what they need to work on, right? Exactly what they got better at or need to work on, right? We're not having a drill where you might work a speed cut, all right, into a power cut, into a 180 break, right? So what am I going to tell the guy, right? Your speed cut was this, right? It was good. Your power cut was like you needed to do this. And then your 180, it was bad. We need to work. He's not going to be able to tell. He's not going to be able to bring that and grasp all of that, right? We need to tell them, all right, we need to be super intentional with our drills, right? So our guys can come from Indy and know exactly what they got better at or what they need to work on, okay? And the last thing I wanted to hit, just doing drills until we can't get them wrong, not just until we get them right, right? Talking about repetitive. Doing drills until we can't get them wrong, not just until we get them right. All right, so hopping into it. All right, so when I talk about 180s, all right, when I'm talking about 180 breaks, coming right back down our stem, all right, our 180, right, coming off the ball, and then coming right back down our stem at a 180-degree angle, okay? So with this drill, all right, and you'll see, right, these two cones at the end, right, this kind of establishing our little shoot. All right, we're not big on props. All right, not going to have a bunch of props, okay? So when we talk about Jalen Gill, all right, we're on the 45 here. Working him coming right back down. Okay, so he can have a visual of it, right? Coming right back down the 45. So you see Jalen Gill, vertical push. All right, when we talk about the top of our routes, all right, we talk about pulling the E-brake. All right, we're not talking about breaking down. When guys talk about breaking down, you're slowing down, right? You're slowing down. We pull the E-brake Because when you pull that e-brake, your car's stopping, right? Abrupt stop. All right, so we talk about pulling the e-brake. And at the end of our route, right, at the top of the route, all right, we talk about 2 steps, right? A lot of guys will talk about the 3 steps, right? The last 3 steps of the route. We talk about the last 2. All right, so we talk about the punch and the pivot step. All right, the punch and the pivot step. So the punch step in this break, all right? Punch. So he punches here, right? When we talk about a punch at the top of a 180, if I was to draw a line, it needs to be going right down that line, all right? The reason for that being, right, I'm not scientifically able to open up and come right back down my stem if that foot isn't going down that line, all right, that imaginary line, right? We talk about guys getting that foot turn, right, so they can come right back down, and we talk about racing out, all right? We talk about racing out, all right? The big thing here too, all right, punch, pivot, that last second step, right? Punch, pivot, all right, with our pivot step here, our pivot step, we want to get that in the ground as fast as we can so we can restart our feet, right? And get running right back down our stem. All right, we want to get in the ground as fast as we can, get our feet restarted, right? A lot of people will say hang it, right? Talking about the drive, right? They'll drill, kind of hanging the foot in the air and driving out of it, right? We want to get in the ground as fast as we can, right? Once that DB sees that punch step, all right, he's breaking on it, right? It's a race to the ball now. We talk about punch, pivot, now race out, okay? Really good job by Jay Gill. Watching EB here. Does a really good job. Violent hips, punch, pivot, right? You see how it barely lifts off the ground, that pivot step, right? That second step. Punch, pivot. Good job by EB. Our last one here, watching Artist Cole. Punch, pivot. Good job by him. All right. And now, all right, different way we'll work it, right? This break, all right, this is one of the most used breaks in our offense, right? So we're going to work it, all right, a bunch of times, right? Deliberate practice, right? Being super intentional, all right? And then a lot of the times when we do this, right, a lot of our route breaks, we'll manipulate, all right, the beginning, all right? We can manipulate the start of it, all right, to keep it simplistic. All right, we always keep a simplistic and intentional end to it. All right, so you see always at the top of it, right? We're working that punch pivot, right? But now here we're manipulating the start. It's different than the first one. Now we're gaining some speed, so we're running this as close to full speed as possible. So you see Josiah here gaining speed. Punch, pivot. You see Pat racing him out, right? Like a DB would. Race. See him work the run after catch move after. It's a really good job, Josiah. Jay Gill. Skipping into it, trying to get close to full speed as possible. Punch, pivot. Okay. Last one here, we'll watch JB. Punch, pivot. Okay. Punch, pivot. Okay, racing out. Another way we'll work, right? Manipulating the start. All right, now we're working a pressure cut. All right, the big thing we talk about with these pressure cuts, all right? We want to fight pressure with pressure. All right, fight pressure with pressure. Make that DB think we're trying to go vertical, right? We're trying like hell to go vertical, right? Trying like hell to go vertical. All right. EB is getting vertical, right? We want to have a strong forearm at the top, not extending, right? Not extending, not trying to get anything called on us, right? A strong forearm at the top. We want to leave them. All right. We want to leave them. All right. So you see that punch step. See if I was to draw a line here, right? Punch, pivot. Good job by E. Watching Magdalena here. Punch, pivot, right? Super intentional with what we're doing, all right? Now, if we're working a throw by, right, that defender's inside of us, right? We got to throw him by, right? We talk about what our throw by. We talk about feet before hands, okay? We talk about feet before hands, all right? If I was to go hands before feet, now I'm trying to throw him by. I might get too upright, right? I might get too upright. Now it's hard for me to efficiently transition, right? It's hard to get those violent hips down, right? It's hard to get those violent hips down when I'm all the way upright, right? We want to keep that forward lean, start the transition, then feet before hands, all right? And JB does a good job with it here. All right. So you see he gets off. You see him pull the e-brake, right? You can see him pull the e-brake. Now, feet before hands, gets his foot turned. All right. The big thing with your hands, all right, when you throw by, you got to make sure you get that second hand through. So you see a second hand, got to get it through to finish the transition. Got to get it through to finish the transition. That's a good job. One time. Good job by him. All right. Good job by him. Okay. Now watching it in game. All right. So I'm looking at the top of the screen at Jalen Moss here. Jalen Moss. So we get there, punch, pivot, race out, right? You see that defender, that punch step, what's he doing, right? Race out. It's a good job. Really good job, Jay Moss. Okay. Now with this one, right? You see when I'm talking about that line, right? I'm drawing that line, right? I want you to watch the 25-yard line here at the top of the screen. All right, watch it, Jalen Moss one more time, okay? 25-yard line, right? Going right down the line, right? So he can really transition, efficient, punch, pivot. That's a good job. All right, that's a good job. Okay. Now here, all right, I'm gonna speed this up a little bit so you can see. All right, so now we're working V cuts. All right, when I talk about V cuts, we're making a V at the top of the break, right? So that's why we call it a V cut. All right. Talking about V cuts here, we get our vertical pushes for our curls, our comebacks, right? Our curls, our comebacks. You see Magdalena, vertical push. Now, his punch step needs to be at a 45-degree angle, right? Needs to be at a 45-degree angle so I can officially come out to the quarterback, right? So now my punch step, I change the angle on it, 45 degrees. Now you see that pivot step, right? Right back in the ground, right? It barely lifts off the ground, okay? Barely lifts off the ground, and now he's coming tight. All right, and the big thing I want you guys to see is this third cone, right? You know how you realize how you only see balls, cones, right? Maybe a hand shield, right? We don't need too many props, right? It keeps it super simple for these guys. All right, so this third cone, all right, this third cone serves two purposes, right? It's our race out cone, right? He's racing out past the cone, and the other purpose it serves, right? It's our tight cone, keeps us tight. We talk about with these breaks, right? We want to be tight and even tighter versus man. Tight and even tighter versus man, okay? Tight and even tighter versus man. So you see it, punch, pivot, race out, tight. Good job. Good job by Matt. All right, so watching it in game. All right, so we're going to watch Eric Brooks, bottom of the screen. All right, the stacked receiver here, front piece of it. All right, he sprays into it, but we get the same idea, right? We get the same idea. So he sprays. You see at the top, punch, pivot, okay? Now, when we talk about that race out piece we were working, race out, right? You see one's about to make a good play on it, right? Evie does a good job racing out. Good job racing out of it, okay? Good job racing out of it, making a play. This is a good job. Okay, now when we talk about this run after catch, all right, we have a lot of ways we drill this. A lot of ways we drill run after catch, right? A lot of ways. We kind of make playmakers here, right? You got to make your playmakers, right? This can be trained. Run after catch can be trained, right? And you could get guys good at this, okay? When we talk about it, right? Good players, they're going to get what they should, right? They're going to get what they should. Great players, they're going to get everything that's out there, right? We're trying to breed great players after the catch, all right? So now with this drill, all right, what I want you guys to see, right? Both lines are running hitches. All right, both lines are running hitches. All right, the quarterback's going to decide which line he throws it to. All right, whoever he doesn't throw it to, right, he's got to immediately turn and block. Go find the defender, go block, right? When it comes to run after catch, right, it's all the guys on the perimeter, right? All the guys downfield, right, blocking for that ball carrier, right? So whoever doesn't get the ball, they're immediately turning, going to find work, right? Going to find work. You see Eric Brooks, right? His reaction on the left, immediately reacts, right? Now with the ball carrier, training the ball carrier now. All right, we talk about press the block and strike a match, right? So we want to press the block, so we're holding that defender, right? Helping that blocker, right? Press the block, hold that defender, and striking a match right off of Eric Brooks. Striking a match right off of him, right? The ball makes all blocks good. All right, the ball makes all blocks good. All right, so we watch Josiah here, press the block, strike a match. All right, watch the second rep here. Jalen Moss will get the ball here. Tim Greer immediately turns, right? Jalen Moss does a good job. Attack it. Press the block, strike a match. It's a good job. It's a really good job, okay? Now, all right, we work this every time we have a field goal period, right? Every day we have a field goal period, we'll grab another indie period, right? This is called fight the sideline, right? We talk about fighting the sideline, right? Everyone's going to look different. All right, everyone's going to look different. All right, but if we want to get everything that's out there, right, we got to fight the sideline, right? We work fighting the sideline, right? You watch Mac here. This is a really good job. See, he's fighting it. Where do his eyes go, right? He's aware of where he's at on the field. All right, he's aware of where he's at on the field. Josiah, right, gets his eyes down, fight the sideline, right? Watching Nate, this will be the last one, right? You see how everybody looks different, right? Gets his eyes to it, everybody looks different. All right, and it shows up. All right, it shows up. All right, so we're watching Mac on his quick out here up top. Okay, Magdalena up top, spray quick out, right? Fight the sideline. Right now he's coming to life. Right now he's coming to life. This is what I'm talking about. He comes to life. Right, this is a good job by him. Right, this is a really good job by him. You can see it from the back here too. Fight it, come to life now. Right, fight the sideline. Right, everybody's looks different. Really good job. Now we got a first down, big play. Really good play by him. All right, now, okay, when we talk about our spot routes, our hitches, right, our option routes, okay, mainly for our option routes for this drill, right, but all those routes, right, we work a dart technique. All right, we work a dart technique. All right, which I really like. Okay. So for our option routes here, the main thing I want you guys to see while me and our trainer Elijah here, while we're standing here, okay? for our option routes, right, they have the option to sit, break in, or break out, okay? In this instance, we call this C2 split two, right? We call this C2 split two, right? So with our option routes, right, we don't ask our guys to see the whole picture, right, to see cover two, right? You're not supposed to look at the whole field, right? We talk about you see a little, you see a lot, right? You see a little, you see a lot. So that option route runner, if I see a defender inside of me, right, that apex defender stays inside of me, and I see that safety, he pushes to the half. I can anticipate I have a cloud corner outside of me, right? I can anticipate I have a cloud corner outside of me, so I know I'm sitting it down, right? In this look, I'd sit it down. So we talk about you see two, you split two. All right, you see two, you split two. And now talking about that dart technique, right? The dart technique. We want to drop step and immediately get upfield. You see there's no wasted movement here, right? No wasted movement. You can see Mac do it here, okay? Mac, no wasted movement, right? Immediately up the field. Jordan Brown, dart, right? Dart. You'll see it show up here on film, right? You'll see it show up here on film watching Eric Brooks, okay? Watching Eric Brooks up top, right? We get his defender, stays inside, right? He sees the safety push to the half. You see a little, you see a lot, right? I can anticipate. I got that cloud corner. Now our option route can make a full speed decision. Full speed decision, right? Full speed decision, catch, immediately dart. See how there's no wasted movement at all, right? Catch, dart. Eric Brooks is so good at this. So good at this, all right? Really good at this here. Watching Eric Brooks here at the bottom, right? You see the safety pushing to the half. We got that defender inside of us, full speed decision. No wasted movement. Catch up the field. Getting everything that's out there, right? Getting everything that's out there. Really good job. Another one here, okay? Another one here. Watching Eric Brooks again, okay? Bottom of the screen. Catch, dart. Everything that's out there. Catch, dart. It's a good job, okay? Another thing will work, right? A part of our explosive circuit, right? We have an explosive circuit that will work, right? Trying to make explosive players, right, after the catch, all right? So you see Mac, he turns to the sideline, right? The main emphasis I want you guys to see, right? We're making this offhand a weapon, all right? We're trying to make our offhand a weapon here, all right? So when we talk about this orange ball, all right, we're going to roll this orange ball at them, all right? Kind of serving as a low stiff arm. So you see Mac snaps his eyes to it, right? You got to see it, all right? And we tell him, strike it back to who sent it to you, right? He's got to strike this back to Logan, right? Logan's the one that rolled it. Another one of our trainers does a great job, all right? Strikes it to him, all right? And then at the end here, you can see him delivering contact, right? We call this same foot, same shoulder, all right? We want to step into contact, deliver the contact, right? Same foot, same shoulder, all right? Watching Antoine here, catch, strike it, right? You see it really go back to Logan here, right? It's a good job by Twan. Same foot, same shoulder. Josiah here. Back to Logan. Same foot, same shoulder. Eric Brooks here. Eyes to it. Back to Logan. Same foot, same shoulder at the end, right? It shows up. Now, all right, we got a 3-level piece to it. All right, now we got a high stiff arm, a low stiff arm, in the same foot, same shoulder. And then even then too, right, we're fighting the sideline with it, right? We're fighting the sideline, going down the sideline, working these moves, right? High stiff arm, get his eyes to it. Low stiff arm, right? Back to who sent it to you. Same foot, same shoulder, deliver contact, okay? High, low, same foot, same shoulder. High, low, same foot, right? High, low, same foot, same shoulder. Good job by these guys, all right? So now watching this offhand in the play, right? Watching this offhand. So we're watching Magdalena at the bottom of the screen. Watching Magdalena, right? Offhand, a weapon, right? Offhand, a weapon. Watch it from the back here. It's way, see it better from the back here. Catch. Offhand, a weapon, right? Gets his eyes to it. Good job by him, right? Good job by him. All right, another one here, okay? Watching Jalen Moss in the slot. Watching Jalen Moss in the slot. We're in the backed up, right? We're in a backed up situation here. Eyes to it. High stiff arm. Now we get a first down, right? Now we can breathe a little bit, right? Now we can breathe a little bit. Watching Jalen Moss, right? You can see it, right? Good job by him, right? Using it. All right. Now getting into blocking, how I'm going to finish this off, all right? Blocking, all right? So when we talk about the main fundamentals of blocking, right? We talk about long stride and short stride. All right, our long stride is us closing that ground between us and that defender, right? That vertical push, right? Closing that ground between you and the defender. That's short stride. All right, we're going to shorten our stride and widen our base once that defender stops giving ground, right? He sees the run, right? We talk about ABC, right? Always be closing, right? Always be closing, right? You want to shorten your stride, widen your base once the defender stops giving ground. In those 3 cardinal sins, we have a blocking, right? We never want to cross over, right? We never want to have 2 feet off the ground, right? Talking about having a good base, right? Can't have a good base if we're crossed over, right? We talk about here is a man in transition, right? If those feet are crossed, he's a man in transition, right? We want to cross over, and we never want to have 2 feet off the ground, right? We want to maintain a good base under us, and then we don't want to lock out, right? We don't want to lock out, right? We want to keep him tight, keep that defender tight. Once he's locked out, now he's got us where he wants us, right? Now he can push-pull us, right? He can push-pull us. He's got that extension. He can see around us even, right? He can see around us, okay? 3 cardinal sins of blocking, okay? So here, all right, we got the orange pad here, all right, to establish his base. You'll see it, okay? So watch him Mac here, long stride, short stride, right? Shorten his stride, widen his base, right? Long stride, pushing off the ball, short stride, right? You see his elbows get tight. Now, right, step and replace is what we talk about, right? Keeping 1 foot in the ground at all time, independent feet. Step and replace. He strikes, has tight elbows. Now you get his eyes behind his hands is what we talk about, right? You want your eyes behind your hands, right? Because it initiates that good pad level, right? You get your eyes behind your hands, you initiate that good pad level, right? He steps and replaces a really good job. All right, watching Eric Brooks here. Hit it. Okay? Long stride, short stride, step and replace. Really good job. Okay? Now, all right, we start engaged now. Now Josiah, right? He's on Jalen Gill. Jalen Gill's number 5, right? Now we're already engaged. All right, we got him tight, got the defender tight, elbows tight, eyes behind our hands, right? Got a good base under us. Okay? Now Jalen Gill's got to fight like hell to get off of it, right? Right? Josiah's got to maintain that good base. Keep his eyes behind his hands. Step and replace, right? That's a really good job by Josiah. Good. Okay. Another thing, we work getting even more specific, right? So when we talk about MDM blocks, right? A lot of guys will talk about the most dangerous man blocks, right? Push, crack, whatever you guys call it, right? We want to get that safety where the front side single receiver, all right, to the run. Front side single receiver to the run. We want to get that high safety who's fitting, right? We want to get him out, all right? So Magdalena, right? The most important things with a most dangerous man block, an MDM block, is your first step and your angles. All right, your first step and your angles, right? Mac takes a good first step, gets his head across. It's a good job. Good job. Watching Jordan Brown here, right? First step, angles. Gets his head across. Watching Eric Brooks here, number 3, Eric Brooks. First step, angles. Head across. All right. So now, all right, Eric Brooks. Watching Eric Brooks again, okay? Right here, right? See the safety fitting here, right? The big thing I want to hit on, right? Safeties, their scholarship is the tackle, right? Safety scholarship is the tackle. The corners, all right, is the cover, okay? Is the cover. Let's make the corners tackle, right? Make the corners tackle Malik Sherrod in space, number 22. All right, our running back, okay? Watch Eric Brooks. First step angle, gets his head across. See what I'm saying? Get the corner to tackle, because what's he going to do? All right, there we go. Now we get explosives off of it. That's a really good job, okay? Good job, Lee. Good job, Lee. All right, so now getting even more specific, right? When we talked about deliberate practice earlier, right? This week we have pin and pull, right? This week we have pin and pull. So our rules for pin and pull for the receivers are that first defender inside of you, right? So Nate would have me, all right, in this instance. Magdalene is going up to Coach McCann, all right? That first defender inside of you, all right? So watching Nate here, right? We talk about technique-wise, right? We want to have a strong outside hand, a strong outside leg with it, right? We don't want to get too open, all right? Inviting that defender to slice underneath us, right? We don't want to get too open, inviting them to slice underneath us, but we don't want to let them over top. So we talk about having a strong outside hand and a strong outside leg, okay? Really good job by these guys, okay? So now we'll change up the picture. All right, in the drill work, we'll change up the picture. Now, Eric Brooks, his rule, first defender inside, so he's taking me. Josiah's rule, still, first defender inside, all right? But we're going to put the bag outside of him now. Pat's going to stand outside of him, all right? But he's got to know his rule, right? Stay true to his rule, work in their mind in the drill work too, right? Josiah, good job, right? Seems simple, right? But you show them different looks in the drill work, right? Extra reps at it, right? Just making us stay true to our rule, right? So the last clip I'm going to end with, okay? End us out with. So watching Jalen Moss here. All right, so the play doesn't hit how the offense will like it to hit, but we're coaching the receivers right now. All right, and this is a really good rep by Jalen Moss. All right, this is a really good rep by Jalen Moss. So you'll see it from the back, but number 2 is that first defender inside of him. Okay? Gets off the ball. Strong outside arm. All right, strong outside hand, outside leg, right? Doesn't let him over top. It's a really good job by Jalen Moss, okay? Really good job by Jalen Moss. You can see it better here, right? He's inside of him. First defender inside of him. Strong, right? Strong outside hand, outside leg. Good job. Okay. Good job. All right. So I wanted to just thank Pat for giving me the opportunity to speak here. I want to thank Pat McCann just for all he's taught me. He's brought me a long way. I love learning from him, man. I love it. Love it here, man. I'm learning a lot. I wanted to leave my contact information for any of you guys. If any of you guys wanted to just hit me up whenever or ask anything or want to talk a little bit, whatever. All right. So I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. Thanks for everyone that came in. Go Dogs.